Hi everyone, it's Kelly here from Spiritual Awakening Signs, and today we're doing a video all about the Sacral Chakra. This is Sacral Chakra 101. So this is where we're going to dive in a bit deeper about the Sacral Chakra and how you can unblock your Sacral Chakra for transformative healing, because I can guarantee you, out of all the chakras that you're going to ever work on, the Sacral Chakra is the one that when you really pay attention to it, when you really do the work, can have the most transformative benefits. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff. So I can see some of you have joined us already. Please say hello, tell me who you are and where you're from. And remember that in this video, we'll be talking a lot about sacral chakra healing, how to do it, what the steps are, all the information you need to know. You can ask questions at any time because this is what I'm here for. This is why we're doing them live so that everyone can ask questions. But you can also request to have your sacral chakra read in the video, okay? But you have to be live for that. So you can just write below, say yes or yes please, let me know, and my guides will lead me to who we're going to be doing those readings for. We'll probably manage to do a few. I can feel the energy is quite intense, so it will be very interesting to see what's going on in the sacral chakra, what you need to know, okay? And I can see Anne has joined us already. Hello, it's so lovely to have you with us. Thanks for joining us. I'm delighted to know that you're here. And hello to everyone else who's watching as well. And Anne is from Greenland. Anne has actually been a very long supporter of Spiritual Awakening Signs, so thank you very much to you. So are we ready to dive in, everyone? Okay, so as I say, this is a total interactive experience that we're having. If you have any questions about the sacral chakra, if there's things that you're not sure of, just let me know in the comments, and we'll kind of take a little look afterwards, because I want to make sure everyone's getting the information that they need and that it's really clear, because I think there's a lot of confusion around clearing the sacral chakra, but actually it's a really simple thing to do, but you need to use the right method. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So I'll say a few hellos first. We've got Paul. He says, hi Kelly, Kundalini rising through me, crazy. Oh, I bet you everyone watching right now can say we totally understand. Very difficult thing to go through. And I can see Francie has joined us as well. Hi, glad that you've joined us, that's great. Okay, so is everyone ready? And we will dive right in. Let's take a little look. So we're going to start with everything that you need to know about the sacral chakra. If you have questions, let me know. I'm going to kind of streamline it into bullet points because I have a tendency to meander. When we start talking energy healing, I get really into it. So we're going to take it really simple. Now, it's worth saying that some of you are faster paced souls, are ready to go right into the healing process. Some of you have actually told me that you don't necessarily need to hear all the details or the how to, you just want the solution. Now, if you're more of a sort of hare type soul rather than a tortoise, that's absolutely fine. We've got a brand new energy healing meditation that is available now. It's going to do everything I'm just about to list for you. It's the Sacred Sacral Chakra meditation, and it's specifically to help you to clear all the blocks from your sacral chakra, stabilize your emotions and feelings, and help you to feel truly joyful. So if you want to get started right away, if you're a hare, you can dive right in. The link's already in the description for you guys, and thanks for mentioning it. But otherwise, let's dive into the content. So first of all, we'll have a little sacral chakra overview, because it's not necessarily what you might have thought that it is. Okay, and I've learned this from working with people doing energy healing for over 20 years. Okay, it's very clear. So the sacral chakra is your second main chakra, the second one. It's known as Swadhisthana. Okay, it is just below your navel. You'll have seen the colours always represented as orange. You'll see it in the chakra chart behind me. It's always orange in colour, and it's right above the root chakra. And it's very important because it governs all the joy that you experience. It governs emotional expression, emotional balance, and creative potential. But it's very often misunderstood as a chakra. It's very commonly considered to be solely linked to sensuality, and it does it a bit of a disservice, because it means that quite often people come in for healing and they think that I don't have issues in that area, that's not really my problem. They don't realise what it's really all about, and that's what I'm going to reveal in this masterclass, okay? It's true power. The sacral chakra's true power is really all about creativity and emotional balance. So if you find that your emotions are a bit out of balance, if you struggle to keep them level, if you find that you suppress things or you go completely numb, that can be a sign of imbalance, depending on whether we're overactive or underactive in the sacral chakra. Either way, we're going to talk about the solution today. And especially if you find creative flow or like joy in your life is a difficult thing to come by or to maintain, that would be a big sign. And we're going to talk about the signs, so don't worry, you don't need to know for now. we can get right into it. But I do also want to talk about some of the positive aspects of your sacral chakra, because it's not all doom and gloom. There are great things about the sacral chakra that we can achieve when we really take care of it in the way that it needs. It is the most commonly ignored chakra. I can't tell you how often have people come in and we work on every other chakra and it's like, yeah, I don't think I've got issues with the sacral chakra. And that's usually the people that actually have. That's usually some sort of unconscious suppression. Okay, so what you're going to find is if you can really balance your sacral chakra out, you're going to kind of tap into and unlock creative potential, creative inspiration. It becomes this effortless, like, oh, I've just had an idea, I really want to do this thing. And it's different from the sort of creativity you get where you're like planning something and you get ideas and you build on it. It can still manifest that way. But what I found with this particular energy is it's more of a lightning bulb moment of inspiration. It's more of a, wow, this is a great idea and I can't wait to do it. This is going to be so fun. This is going to be such a joyful experience. It's that sort of energy, and that in your life is huge. If you can have that in your life, things are going pretty well. Okay. The other thing that's really wonderful about it is it's going to help you with your connections, and that's a difficult thing in spiritual awakening. It's difficult to have spiritual connection. It's difficult to find real meaningful rapport with others because you can feel like you're going through spiritual awakening. Other people don't understand the symptoms and the experiences that you're going through, or you try to tell them and they just kind of glaze over. This is the chakra that's all about finding that connection, that sort of thread that runs through us all, where you can connect to that and it means something to you. It makes connection something different. So if that's been a problem, sacral chakra definitely needs to work for you. The other thing is it's going to promote a lot of positive feelings that you might find are quite difficult to access, especially if you're going through the spiritual awakening process, because I don't need to tell you, and you guys can let me know below, it's pretty intense. Let's be honest, it's intense, it's overwhelming, there are all sorts of different emotions and feelings. It's a pretty intense experience. The sacral chakra is the chakra that's responsible for really making you feel safe, allowing you to feel peace, allowing you to feel that sort of emotional stability. You don't need to be scared that you're going to fall apart or that you can't cope. It just brings you back to center, because the truth is you're not going to be able to really balance yourself unless you clear the sacral chakra out. If you can't get to that place where you're like, I can take a breather, I feel calm, I feel like everything's going to be okay, maybe even I feel hopeful. If you can't get to that place, there is clearing that needs to be done in the sacral chakra. It's not just about balancing it. And I'm going to tap into a bit more of that as we move further along the masterclass, because I think there are some misconceptions that are affecting people in really getting good healing for their sacral chakras. And I don't want you to waste any time, because I know what it's like when you're moving through this process. You don't have months and months to waste trying different alternative approaches to see what's going to work and then find out that, you know, none of them have been helpful for you. So I want to make sure you've got the right approach. Now, there are quite a lot of challenges to the sacral chakra. And just to say, I can see quite a few of you joined us live just in the last few minutes. Hello and welcome. Tell us who you are and where you're from. And I am offering sacral chakra readings. Those of you who are watching live, my guides are going to pick. It's not me. My guides lead me to who it is. So if you would like one, just write yes, please, and I'll review them all when we're doing the readings. Okay. So the challenges we've got with the sacral chakra, it's a bit of a difficult one. And the reason is it is a storehouse for all of our emotional wounds. When we go through emotional upsets, when we go through emotions and feelings that we want to avoid, when we go through things that, you know, the things that really hurt the most, the things that you don't want to talk about, you don't want to deal with, you just want to try and almost act like it never happened and move on because it's too painful. That's the stuff that sits in the sacral chakra. So because it's a bit of a emotional storehouse, it's a place where we kind of suppress and throw things down there, like I'll get to later, but we never do. We never do. It's just a way of sort of trying to cope and trying to avoid the real pain that's in there. The problem with that is that it means that it is the most commonly congested of all the chakras. Okay, it's very rare that I work with someone and they don't have some aspect of blockage in their sacral chakra, purely because that's where we dump all the emotional stuff. Okay, it's constantly gathering, kind of like taking on the burden for you. I'll carry this, I'll keep it quiet, I'll deal with this. But what actually happens to the chakras, it becomes hugely congested. The problem is when it becomes really congested and it's accumulated all that sort of unresolved emotional baggage. And remember, this might not just be from this lifetime alone. Let me know below if you think you might have sacral chakra damage from a past life, maybe from more than one past life. It just depends. Everybody's a little bit different. The problem that it presents is that all that congestion can stop the flow of Kundalini from moving up through the rest of the chakra system. And I know Paul mentioned at the beginning of the video that his is really intense right now. It's intense when you're going through spiritual awakening. Your Kundalini will be very, very active. But if you have a sacral chakra block, if you think of that being just above the root chakra, so it's only the second chakra up when we're talking about the main chakras in the body, that means that there is a depletion and a lack of energy flow in that area. So when you move up through the rest of these chakras, all the rest of the chakras don't get appropriate energy. They don't get that precious Kundalini energy to support them and to help them function optimally. So you can bet if you have a sacral chakra block, some of the rest of your chakras are definitely going to be either blocked or misaligned because they're not getting the fuel that they need energetically. Okay, is this making sense, everyone? If you've got any questions, let me know. Okay, the other problem that we have is that it's going to greatly limit your spiritual awakening as well, because if you think about your Kundalini being the route between you, the bridge between heaven and earth, the route between you and your connection to source, if you don't have that connection coming right up through all that energy out of the top of crown and up to source, if it's not clear, if it's not flowing healthily, you're just going to find that your spiritual awakening just goes round in cycles, or you get a plateau and you're just stuck. Okay, so if that's been happening, it's probably the sacral chakra that needs the work. Okay, I can see Paul saying purging so many emotions, it's so tough. It is really tough. It is really tough. But you know what I do know is I've been doing this work a really long time and I've never found anyone that didn't make it through. Spiritual awakening will take you to that place where you'll say out loud, I just don't think I can cope with this. I went through that. I don't think I can cope. I'm not going to make it. I'm out. I can't do this. But what you find is there's a deeper part of the spirit that spiritual awakening is trying to kind of pull out of you, this stronger part that is so resilient in the soul. And it can take a while before you recognise that that part's there. So there's plenty of things you can put in place to regulate your emotions. Sacral chakra healing would be one of them. And the next one I would recommend for anyone else who's feeling this way too would be as much grounding as possible. Okay, we've got loads of other resources that will show you how to do that, but you want to get as grounded as possible to settle the Kundalini a little bit. And you want to keep your chakras as clear as possible too. It's the only way I've found that seems to fix it, but it really can make a big difference. It doesn't need to be as dramatic as that, and I know how hard it is when you're there. But I promise you it gets better. It can get better. Right, so let's have a talk about some of the key signs that your sacral chakra might actually already be blocked. Now, if you would like a sacral chakra reading, like I said before, just type yes below and I'll have a little look. We'll see who my guides draw me to and we'll do a little reading for you. Okay, but let's talk about the signs. So one of the first signs that your sacral chakra might be blocked would be feeling emotionally volatile. Okay, feeling like your emotions are up and down, they're all over the place, it's a roller coaster. Or you might find that you're prone to sort of mood changes. You know, I was feeling okay, now I feel really anxious. I was feeling okay, and now I feel really depressed. Or everything was all right, and now I'm really afraid, and I don't know why. It's that really quick, sudden onset. Whoa, I can't hold on to this. I don't know what to do. I can see Paul saying yes, yeah. It's exactly what it's like in spiritual awakening. I can see Madalena. Hi, Madalena says yes as well. That's what it's like. And unfortunately, if someone isn't going through this, they're not going to get it. They're not going to be able to understand. But that is exactly what it's like. You're also going to find if your sacral chakra is blocked that you'll have a sort of a lack of zest for life. You'll find that pleasure or joy or fun in life is just like, it's almost like you don't have it in you. There's just no interest in it. You might also find that there's an overindulgence, because what we're trying to do when the sacral chakra is blocked is we're really trying to avoid the pain. And that can manifest as overindulgence in food or shopping. You might be binge watching TV, you might be binging on alcohol, you might even be binging on drugs. You're trying to find a way to cope with all the stuff that's in there and also trying to keep it at bay because it feels like too much to deal with. You'll have difficulty setting or maintaining healthy boundaries with others. That will be a very difficult thing to say no, to say I don't want to decline anything in any way, or to say to someone, I don't like what you're doing, stop it. That will be a hard thing for you to say. You'll also find that you might feel unworthy. Unworthiness comes up a lot in people who have sacral chakra issues, okay? So feeling unworthy, you might feel that you don't deserve good things or you don't deserve to be happy in your life. These are the type of thoughts that come up when there's this block in the sacral chakra. Another sign would be an avoidance of emotional connections or any sort of intimacy with others. So you might find that suddenly you pull back from your friends, you pull back from your family members, you just feel that you can't go there. You just don't want to go there. It just feels like too much. You want to pull back. Okay. You'll also find that you feel disconnected from your emotions and feelings. So it goes one of two ways. You might even have both. Some people are underactive in their sacral chakra, some people are overactive. If you're overactive, that's where the emotions are really intense and everything's all really overwhelming and feeling very sensitive. If it's underactive, you'll find that you've shut down. You're numb. You don't feel anything. You don't care. That's how it makes you feel. Okay. You might also find that you have a sacral chakra block, and it especially happens to people who have previous experience of emotional, physical, or especially sexual abuse in any way. You tend to find that the sacral chakra is hugely impacted. And of course, that accompanies a lot of feelings that happen in the sacral chakra when it's not working correctly, like guilt or feeling ashamed, even if you don't know why. And lastly, one of the other key signs that your sacral chakra isn't working so well is if you've got a lack of creativity or any sort of inspiration, if that's difficult for you, if it feels like it's not flowing or it feels like it's a huge effort to try and get any sort of creative energy going, you've definitely got a sacral chakra issue going on. Okay. Now, if anyone resonates with any of those signs, if it's something that you understand, you recognize, do let me know. Or if there's anything else that you think might be a sign, let me know. It's always interesting to hear. So we've got a little bit more to do, but I want to keep on top of what everyone is talking about because it's always great for us to have a bit of a spiritual conversation. I think that's missing hugely in Spiritual Awakening. So hi Linda, I can see Linda's joined us, great. Hi Kelly, I know I'm blocked. I've got lots of physical pain, lower back, all over, hopelessness, needing a sacral chakra meditation for sure. And yes, I have time for a reading, please. Right, well, thank you for sharing that, Linda. It definitely sounds, especially, the sign for me is especially when you've got that sort of lower back pain, because that's like the back of the sacral chakra. And what you do actually find with a lot of chakras, if there's a pain in there and it's trying to kind of hide, if it's trying to hide from being resolved, you tend to find it moves to the back of the body. Okay, so you probably find that sacral chakra stuff is just pulled right back, and that's why it's sitting in that area. And especially if you're feeling hopelessness, that sounds like there's not a lot of joy or optimism there. And I think we need to definitely do something about that. So this meditation would be helpful for you, for certain. And thank you for sharing that. I think it's great when people share what's really going on in their experience, because I think that spiritual awakening sometimes has been kind of glamorized a little bit, and we think that it's this wonderful experience that's going to be enlightening and your whole life's going to change overnight. And actually, there's an in between where it's really difficult for quite some time first. Okay, so we're going to get into a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit about the consequences of having a sacral chakra blockage. I'm going to have a little drink first because you'll notice I'm not drinking tea today because surprisingly it is absolutely roasting hot here in Scotland. That never happens. We've got an absolutely beautiful summer day, but the Scottish people here, we're not built for the heat. We can't handle it, so everyone's really struggling with it. It's beautiful outside, but I think we're meant to be up mountainsides with kilts on. We're not really meant to be, not really meant to be in the heat. So let's have a little look and see what else we've got here. So I can see, thanks for the love, guys. I can see Paul says, this is my third dark night of the soul, body's aching, really tough emotions from childhood coming up. Okay, Paul, so definitely a sign that the sacral chakra is needing a bit of work. That means there's a lot of old content there that needs to be healed. PTSD from the forces, failed relationships, addictions, absolutely. It's all happening in the sacral chakra. Joys of being an indigo child. So it sounds like there's a lot of tough stuff there that needs to be processed, Paul. And if it's all right with you, I actually feel you would be great for a reading. So I'm going to tune in to the sacral chakra just a little bit, and we'll see what. Okay, so straight away, before I even really get the chance to fully tune in, Paul, there is a lot of congestion in the sacral chakra, and I'm talking not just like a little block. It's like damage on top of damage on top of damage, and it's like concrete. Okay, so that tells me that not only is there quite a lot that's looking to be healed and resolved, and I can see that you're also saying your head's all over the place. No wonder, no wonder when you're dealing with that. There's a lot that needs to be resolved, but I think that actually when you get a little bit of that starts to get resolved, you'll find the energy flows a lot better. And what I'm sensing is there's actually an issue between there's your sacral chakra definitely needs most of the work, but I feel that we're up here in the upper chakras as well. There's like two sides to it. We need to be working on, I think we're probably third eye and crown, but there's some work up here that needs to be done to balance it out because there's two sides to it. There's one side that's the emotional stuff that needs to be processed, and then there's actually the other side of it that's like the mind needs to be able to process and come to terms with all the different things that have happened. So I want you to know it's actually not that difficult to heal this stuff. What I would say is the meditation that I'm going to talk about at the end of this would be great for you. What you would want to do is actually, because of the way your sacral chakra is, I would recommend using it quite regularly. So even if you could set aside time once a week, and anyone else who has previous trauma, PTSD, anything that's really intense stuff, you want to be using this sort of meditation quite regularly, and that is going to have the effect of clearing out what's already there, so you're starting to heal, and then it's going to put the things that you need in place, and I'm going to talk about this shortly, the protective things that you need in place energetically to prevent any further blockages from happening. So you'll move through the healing process much more quickly, and it just kind of calms the system. And I think I get a sense that your system could be doing that with that. It feels like there's a lot of, it feels like your mind needs a chance to catch up with the process. That's what it feels like. Okay, so let's see. Now, there's a couple of issues that we have with the sacral chakra, and one of those is that it's going to lead to a sort of creative ruts. It's going to create a lot of creative ruts. It's probably going to lead to mood swings. So you'll find, you just don't really feel right when your sacral chakra's not right, when it's not doing great. And the other thing is it's going to create a lot of sense of disconnection with other people. You're going to feel that you can't connect. You might even feel emotionally numb. You might feel shut down, or like I say, the other side of it is you're highly emotional, you're highly sensitive, okay? Makes it really, really difficult, but you can do something about it. And after we've done a little bit more of the readings, we will dive in and have a little look at it. So I can see we have Anne here, who I was actually just about to do a reading for, and I think you've picked it up and you're already letting us know what's going on. So she says, I also have a lower back issue, okay? I often wonder why, sorry, that's just disappeared on me. I often wonder why I'm working in this company, even though I often enjoy it, but I'm not working with numbers kind of person, so I get frustrated about it. Understandable. Right, let's see, and let's have a little tune into your energy. Now, I'm trying to remember if I've read for you before, Anne, because I know you've been in a lot of the videos, and forgive me if we've already talked about this, because this is just the sense I'm getting. But there's stuff going on in the sacral chakra that needs to be moved, but I feel like it's manifesting physically. I feel like it's manifesting almost like fatigue, or like chronic fatigue, or some sort of, I don't know, maybe even fibromyalgia. It's just like, it feels like lethargy in the body. The body's just really slow and sluggish, because I feel like there's a lot going on in the sacral chakra that, how can I put it? There's a lot of uncried tears in there. It's real emotion that needs to be expressed, and I feel like there's a chance that possibly the way you've lived in your life, it's maybe not been appropriate, or people haven't thought of it as acceptable for you to really express how you honestly feel, but it actually feels inside that there's all this pressure. You just need to have a big cry. And I don't even think that it's just the adult part of you. I feel like the child part of you needs to express how she really feels. I can really feel that there's a lot of sensitivity from your childhood that I think could be doing with a bit of healing and clearing. And I also think that some of the issues that are going on in the sacral chakra, what I can feel is the heaviness of that and the way it's manifesting in the body is kind of creating a lot of congestion in your entire auric field. So I'm pretty sure that you have the rainbow light energy clearing, but if you don't, use some form of energy clearing, use that, or use something else to keep your energy field nice and clear. Because if you do that alongside healing and clearing the sacral chakra, you'll get a better result, because it's kind of all, it's like the energy's leaking out into your field. So we need to keep this nice and clear, while we're healing the sacral chakra, to make sure that we don't end up healing the sacral chakra and releasing all that stuff, and it just releases into your auric field and creates more of the sort of lethargic, energetic feelings. I wouldn't want that for you. So just a little tip there, make sure you're clearing at the same time as doing some of the deeper healing. I think your system's ready for it. Okay, let's see. I can see Michelle has joined us as well. Hi, Michelle. It says, I need to learn more. Well, we'll be talking a little bit more about what you can do. We're about to talk about the steps. So if you've missed anything in the video, feel free afterwards to go back and watch the beginning again. We'll be talking about the steps, but there's also a link in the description to our meditation, which actually has our full sort of, what would you call it? Like the big masterclass on sacral chakra work, where it really goes in depth, further than what we're doing today. Okay, so if you're interested in that, you can check that out. It's just at the top of the page and it's free. You can watch that part before you get into all the details of the meditation. Okay, and I can see Kim has joined us as well. Hi, Kim. Great. Right, so let's talk a little bit about the way to heal and unblock your sacral chakra, because it's not as simple as you might think. You can do it the ways that people generally tell you to do it, but I'm going to tell you from experience of doing this for 20 years, it's the long way round, and you'll be cycling round and doing these processes over and over again. You need to tackle it on the level that it was created, and you need to tackle it properly. So this is where we're going to get into it, okay? Because when you do that, it's going to change things for you. It's going to change your energy. It's going to ensure that you tapped into joy, and it's not going to be something like, how can I describe it? Sometimes when you're going through spiritual awakening, it feels like you have to work at joy a little bit. You have to kind of push yourself sometimes. If you're not doing so good, you feel like you need to push yourself to laugh. You need to push yourself to smile. When you're really in balanced sacral chakra, it's a natural feeling that just comes out. You feel happy and contented. You feel emotionally balanced. You've got ideas that are coming to you, and the inspiration that comes to you is like, I can't wait to try that. That's going to be so fun. That's going to be really fulfilling in my life. It's a wonderful energy, but so often ignored. So often ignored. So let's talk about how to move around that. First step, okay, because I do actually have a 3-step system that I'm going to give you, but the first most important thing that I would say about the sacral chakra is you want to be proactive in your healing. So that means recognizing the signs as early as possible. And we've already kind of started on that in the video, because now you know what signs to look out for. So that's tick on step 1. You're doing great. Okay, that is crucial. Recognizing those early signs is crucial so that you can prevent any future or further blockages from happening, from coming up, because we don't want that. We don't want any future blockages. And if you address the imbalances, you're going to restore all that energy flow. You're going to restore that sort of emotional stability. That's where your emotions can react, and you acknowledge your emotions, but it doesn't go, sky high, over the top, oversensitive, can't calm down. That it's like, okay, I'm experiencing what's going on, and I know there's emotions, but I feel ultimately there's a stillness underneath the surface. That's what you're going to get with the sacral chakra being really balanced, okay? But the method that you choose is hugely important, right? If you don't get any other part of this masterclass, this is the bit that I really want you to know and to remember, okay? The method that you use to heal and clear your sacral chakra is the most important part of all of this. Because if you use, for example, use what most people would use, crystals and incense or other sort of energy practices, the problem that you've got is it's not going to resolve the entire block, okay? Because it's emotion that's at the bottom of it. It's emotion that created the energy that created the block, okay? So we need to deal with the emotion. The problem is, if you use crystals and incense and other energy practices, it's not going to resolve the block. It's not going to really address it at the root cause, which means it's only going to temporarily sort of balance it, and then it's going to slip back into its old patterns, because the thing that caused it hasn't been changed at all, okay? Or it's only been changed a little bit, and it's mostly still in there. So that's not going to do us any good. The second thing that people usually try is meditation, but meditation alone is maybe going to bring it into some form of alignment. It'll force it into a little bit of alignment for a little while, but it's not going to clear all that congestion. So all that old emotion, all the stuff we were talking about with different people when we were reading them, all that old emotion, all the things that are under the surface is not going to disappear. It's still going to be there. So it doesn't clear the congestion. So meditation alone isn't the solution. Okay, and I know this because I did all this. I've done all this. We've tried it all, been doing it for years. Energy is very, very powerful. but no amount of positive thinking alone is going to clear a sacral chakra block. Okay, no amount of manifesting, no amount of positive affirmations, none of that is going to be enough to do what we need to do. Like I said, these things work, but for this we need to get right to the heart of the issue, and the heart of the issue is upsetting emotions, suppressed emotions, painful experiences that created energy that's created a block. Okay, so we need to go back to the first thing so that we can resolve that and dissolve all the rest of it. And if you're not sure how to do that, don't worry, because we have 3 simple steps that you can use. This is what I use with my clients in one-on-one sessions. It is a absolutely fail-safe step-by-step protocol that you can use. But the most important thing is I need you to do it in order. It has to be done in order because there's a sequence to this that kind of build on top of each other. Okay, so very important. And depending, I'm just checking the time, we might have time for another reading. If you're interested and you've joined us later, if you would like a reading, just write yes or yes please in the comments, and I'll see if my guides lead me to you. Okay, so here are our steps to unblock and then to heal your sacral chakra. So step 1, this is like setting the foundations. Step 1 is prioritize self-care. Okay, and I'm going to explain why this is important. You need to address the blocks that are in the sacral chakra by actively practicing self-love and kindness. You need to treat yourself kindly. You need to commit to self-care with compassion and with gentleness. Okay, and if we're honest, sometimes that's a difficult thing to do. We've got old programming, we've got old wounds, we've got things people have said to us, things people have judged us by, and sometimes we feel a bit guilty and undeserving about doing those things, but do them anyway. Okay, so you want to try and do some sort of nurturing activities. Take a nice warm bath, you know, go for a grounding walk and be out in nature in the fresh air and just center yourself, or, you know, allow yourself the time that you actually need to relax and to recharge after a busy day, or maybe it's just a day where there's not much happening but you just need the rest anyway. Like, just allow yourself that. Okay, that's a really important foundation that we're starting with, because what we're actually doing here, it's not really about the activity, right? The activity isn't the part that matters. It's about getting into the energy of self-care, getting into the energy of kindness, bringing that compassion energy into your space. Okay, there's a purpose to why we're doing this. So we do that first. Step 2 is mindful emotional release. This is probably the most important of all the 3 steps. Okay, you need to recognize that a blocked sacral chakra can lead to emotional suppression or emotional volatility, or even numbness. Okay, so what you want to do is create a safe space and a little bit of time where you can process the emotions that are there. And a few sort of ideas of things that you might like to try are journaling, you know, really writing down how you feel, talking it out as if you're talking to a friend, just writing it all out. Guided meditations can be helpful, especially if they're helping you to calm down, they're helping you to tune into what's actually there, because quite often we're not really very aware of what's actually going on in there. Or having a talk with a trusted friend, a loved one, someone that you know you can really be honest with and open up to if that's available to you. And this practice is all about releasing the pent-up energy that's in the system. That's what clears the sacral chakra for that sort of emotional fluidity. Like I was saying, there's movement on the surface. You'll still feel, well, you know, I'm reacting to things, but you're not reacting. Okay, you're just like, oh, okay, I can feel that. But under the surface, under this little kind of always moving energy, which emotion is, we're never going to get past that. It's always going to be moving. There's this stability, this stillness underneath. And that's what really brings you back to center. That's what changes your whole life experience and the experience of your spiritual awakening. Okay, very, very important. Now, I've got a little tip for you, little expert tip. Consider using energy healing for this. Use energy healing because it's a very gentle method of emotional release, but it's without all the overwhelming feelings. It will let you process things, but what you'll find is, because you're doing energy healing, you're clearing the block as the emotion's coming up, so you process it really quick, and you'll find that it's not what I would like to term as re-traumatizing. Sometimes you get into emotions and then you think, oh gosh, I opened the door to that and I wish I hadn't, it's too much for me. Energy healing allows you to process it nice and gently, get through it, and then you feel the relief, you feel the good part on the other side of it, because you're like, oh, I all that out, and that just feels so much better. That's why it's so special, especially when you're going through awakening. So that's just my little tip. Consider energy healing for that. It's the best way you could do it without really getting into the heavy stuff that's going to be too much, okay? And step 3, we're going to heal and strengthen the sacral chakra with positive energy. Now, this is the step that most people don't do. And what I've learned over time is if you take something out, you've not really set it to something positive. All you've done is make it neutral. I took the negative out. That doesn't automatically make you happy. You take the negative out, and then in the space, you replace it with something supportive. You replace it with something positive. And that then changes the energy that you actually send out, the energy that radiates from you, and allows you to manifest positive things. That's what's really going to shift your reality, right? So this is the approach that I use that really changes your point of attraction. It's not just about taking out the negative and all we're done, okay? What we do is, after releasing all those pent-up emotions, all the sort of old history that's held and collected in the sacral chakra, we support the sacral chakra with positive energy, right? So we focus on constructive energy downloads to strengthen the chakra, and any sort of future imbalances we're protecting to make sure they don't happen again, okay? But the problem is you have to teach your system how to do that. Okay, now if you've never seen any of our energy downloads before, they're like a little, how would you describe it? They're like a template for your energy. It's like bringing something in to show your system what an energy is, what it means, what it feels like, and how to draw that into your space. You know, I'm going to do one right now. I'm going to do one right now because my guides are bringing that in. I know what we need. Okay, so I invite everyone to just relax. If you're able to, if it's safe, close your eyes for a second. Take a nice deep breath and just drop your shoulders, let them droop. Let everything start to relax. And the wonderful thing about this work is when I go into a theta brainwave, it automatically brings you into a theta brainwave. And that allows you not only to receive the energy, but it brings you in a state of rest, relaxation, and recuperation. This is where you heal. So my guides are encouraging us, and it's very sensible, to bring in an energy download for you and all who are watching this, all whoever will watch this, on self-care. Let's show you what that energy is, what it means, what it feels like, that it is safe and possible for you to accept self-care in your life now. I was only going to do one, but the guides are bringing a few more, so we'll just go with the flow. Let's also show you what it is, what it means, and what it feels like to be kind and compassionate with yourself. Show you the truth that you've already learned how to be kind and compassionate to others, and that it is safe for you to treat yourself with the same loving kindness. And we ask that any negative feelings or resistance around that gentleness and kindness is released gently and easily now. Nice big breath in and out. And the wonderful thing is, you can just open your eyes gently when you're ready. And the great thing about our energy downloads, and this is what's in our meditation, I'm going to be talking a little bit more about in just a second. These energy downloads are going to teach your system exactly what you need. They are very, very gentle, and they are very specific to you and your energy. So when you tune in and you get an energy healing download, it's actually coming from the guides who are dedicated to helping us in the awakening pathway. And when you listen to the meditation or any of those downloads, they go to work immediately on your behalf, and it's not the same for everyone. So they'll give you a specifically tailored healing. They'll say this person needs a bit more of that person needs that reduced. What's right for this person, their energy and their awakening experience. That's why I trust them beyond all measure. They are wonderful. And that's what makes this really special. We're bringing into the system what is missing from your energy. Once your energy knows how to do it, you can set it and forget it. It becomes really, really easy. Really easy. Okay? So what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to teach the sacral chakra to maintain emotional stability. Your sacral chakra might not know how to do that. Might never have experienced that in your life. Might have been a difficult thing to hold on to. So we bring in a download. We teach the sacral chakra. Here is how to do that. Here's how to maintain that energy. We teach it how to tune in to inspire creativity. That might have never happened to your system before. That might be a new thing. Or it might be that your system doesn't know how to do it in the new energies that we're in as time's moving on. We also teach it to have deep connected relationships. That might be something that you've just never been able to experience before. And cultivate a joy-filled life. If you've never really experienced joy, if you've never really felt that was something that you could tune into or hold on to, then what we need to do is bring it into the system. When you bring it into the system with a download, what energy do you think you're resonating? You're no longer resonating that I don't know how, I can't do this, I've never had this, there's all this pain behind it. Instead, you're resonating an energy of I am creative, I'm creatively inspired, I'm joyful, yet emotionally balanced. You know, I have stable, still emotions, and I know how to balance myself. It becomes a set it and forget it. You teach the energy how, your energies take care of it from then on out. It's really a wonderful thing. Okay. Now, does anyone have any more questions about the sacral chakra? If you do, let us know. I've got just a few minutes left. I can see that Paul says, I tried to meditate, but my head was in 400 different places. Well, I'm going to just kind of comfort you a little bit for anyone else who is experiencing this too, because this is actually very common in spiritual awakening. There's nothing wrong with you or anyone else who's watching this and thinking, I just can't focus. It's almost impossible to focus when you're going through spiritual awakening. There's so much emotional content coming up from the soul that when you try to go still, it's an opportunity for the soul to go, deal with this, check this out, make sure you resolve this, heal this, remember this. And it's like, whoa, I can't deal with all this. There's too much coming at me. Okay. So if that's happening to you, that's actually quite normal for spiritual awakening. It's not something you have to continue to suffer with, but it is quite normal. Okay. So what you would probably want to lean into is, rather than meditating in silence, where there is an empty space that your soul is going to fill with trying to get your attention, we need to kind of let it know, like, we're getting the messages, so just settle down, I'm getting the messages, but not right now. Okay, so another way around it is using meditations that are specifically guided so that you're focusing on something. You'll probably find that things still come in, or using meditation where there's energy healing involved, so that as the stuff's coming up, there's actually energy healing in place to clear it off as it's coming up throughout the meditation. Then it becomes, you're sitting in meditation and it doesn't really matter if anything's coming up. In fact, it can be helpful because the energy then knows what it's meant to clear throughout the energy healing meditation. Okay, so that brings us into talking about the energy healing meditation that I would recommend for sacral chakra. We made it specifically for this. So if you are ready to let myself and the guides do the work for you, you can set it and forget it with your sacral chakra. We have a brand new energy healing meditation. It is the Sacred Sacral Chakra meditation. This is where we're doing the training that I was talking about, teaching the sacral chakra how to be emotionally balanced. We're teaching it how to be creative. We're teaching it all the different things it needs, and we're clearing out the negative at the same time. So we're replacing any gaps with positivity, and that protects your sacral chakra from ever going out of balance in future. Okay. It's going to do a few key things. It's going to release any stagnant emotions, any abuse, any trauma that you might be holding in the sacral chakra, so that we can finally get back to some form of emotional harmony. Just letting go of all that pressure, all that emotional debris. Okay, it's going to release negative emotions and any sort of past traumas that are actively blocking your creative flow. So if it's getting in the way of your creativity in any way, shape, or form, we're going to clear that out. Okay, we're going to unblock any sort of stuck energy that's in your sacral chakra and balance the sacral chakra. But here's the interesting thing, specifically for you, because not everyone can have their sacral chakra balanced to the same level. Some people need it a little bit more active, some people need it slightly less active, some people need it somewhere in the middle. Some people have certain wounds or certain kind of traits that we need to work around. The energy is very specific to people, and it's also very specific to how your spiritual awakening is going, how active your Kundalini is. If we fully activated everybody's sacral chakra and the Kundalini is going wild, it would be far too much. So we have to make sure that we let the guides do the work, and that's what they do in this meditation. They're going to work like a one-to-one thing, checking out your sacral chakra, seeing what it needs, and making very, very fine-tuned adjustments that are perfect for you and your energy. Okay. It's also going to help you to channel creative energy and really open up your soul energetically to divine inspiration. It's going to help you experience emotional balance and a sense of worthiness, because that's usually missing and the sacral chakra needs some work. And most importantly, it's going to help you to accept happiness and joy into your life. And like I said, you might need the download so that your soul knows this is what joy is. This is the energy of joy. This is the energy of happiness. Here's how to maintain that. Your soul might not know how to do that, and your sacral chakra certainly might be struggling with it. So that's where we put that all in place. Okay, so you can take a look at the little link in the description, and I think somewhere here I can actually make it pop up on the screen. Let's see if I can do this. Give me a second, guys, because I'm not great with the I'm not great with all the different stuff. I don't know if it's popped up on screen, but if it isn't, it's in the description. And you can just click and have a little read through and just let your soul tell you. Your sacral chakra will tell you if you need the work. If it's right for you, you'll know because it'll resonate. And if anyone has any questions, if you're watching this on the replay, obviously the readings are only if we're live, because that's the easiest time for me to do it when I can really connect with your energy. But certainly any questions you have, let me know in the comments, and I will more than happily address them all for you. I want everyone to really understand what we're working with here, because it's a very special chakra to be working with. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this live video. I love doing these live videos. It's great to connect with all of you and get a chance to actually connect in spiritual awakening, which is wonderful. I hope that you enjoyed it and have a fantastic day. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye for now.